to the Telescope Show. We are stargazing into the heart of geek culture, talking about faith and life with you. I am Matthew Seipel-Anderson, and with me is Katie Seipel-Anderson. How you doing, Katie?
I'm doing good this morning. It's sunny and a little bit warm. It a little bit feels like spring right now.
Yeah, and this is episode 100.
That's something to be really excited about. The sunny weather, the warm weather, and episode 100 all seems to be like coming together to make a really great vibe.
Right, totally. And I just, you know what? We need to jump right in to the big news of the day, our episode 100 Trivia Challenge. We have a winner. It was glorious combat on the fields of trivia, but the winner is KK.
Who we don't actually know who that is.
Yeah, so if your screen name was KK in the game of Kahoot, like we literally have no clue who you are.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we also need to know who you are, so...
So this giveaway was really fun. We've never done this before.
This is a new learning experience for us. It was a lot of fun. We got some good feedback from people. If you have feedback for us, let us know, because we want to do this again, and we just want to get it better and better.
Yeah. So if you are KK, you need to reach out to us either through Facebook, through the Telescope Show Facebook page. What would be better if you would just email the Telescope at iCloud. That would be awesome. Go to our website, thetelescopeshow.com, and you can find the email address there as well. But reach out to us, let us know who you are, and we will send an amazing prize to you. And I think we should go through.
And it's not just a solitary prize, it's actually a prize pack. So one of the things we're going to do different in the future is probably have first, second, and third prize, so we have more prize winners. Because, especially with Kahoot, I mean, you got to give some kudos to second and third prize. Do we know who they were?
You know what? Not off the top of my head. I have to go in and log in to see who they were.
I think we should announce that. I think the second and third should at least get honorable mention.
Well, while we talk, I'll try to look it up.
So I'll talk about what we have.
Talk about what we have to start off with. First off is something for the gamers, a little nostalgic thing that I found that was fun.
It's a Mario Brothers Nintendo Entertainment System Duck Hunt. I actually remember Duck Hunt way back a long time ago. I probably only played it like once in my childhood years, but I do remember it. So that would be kind of fun. Did
you hold the gun right up to the TV to get the ducks?
I don't remember. I don't think I did.
Because you could cheat, by holding it right up to the TV.
Oh, I don't look for ways to cheat typically. That's just not...
That's totally what I did.
Yeah, well, okay. So that's one of the things that we have for you. We also have Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Mayhem. It's like it's a game. I wanted to say a board game, but it isn't because it's literally just cards. So this could be kind of a nice thing. If you're a gamer, you like... By gamer, I mean like tabletop gamer. If you like games, this could be a nice one, especially if you're in a time in life when you can't really handle the really big, complex games in your life right now. This could be a really nice one, and maybe that's why Matt chose it, because we're kind of at that time in life where big games with lots of characters and people that take a long time just isn't really something that we can do right now. So this is a nice one because it's literally just some cards. You can get some people. It's a card game for 2 to 4 adventurers. So you can get a couple people together, super easy, play it, and then you can pack it up and for another time.
Right. It's kind of got the, like Katie said, the tabletop role-playing game vibe, but it's super simplistic. So if you don't want to have that big learning curve, that's it.
Then we have another pretty cool thing here for people who are into games, like tabletop games. Apparently, we kind of have a little tabletop game theme on this one, which is interesting because Matt and I don't really play tabletop games, except for like kid games. This is a
100-sided die.
It's a 100-sided die. It actually, I've never seen one in real life before. It's interesting.
I thought of it because it's episode 100.
And I'm just looking at this thinking, hey, this is something I can use to help my daughter learn her numbers. So it has multi-purposes.
Boom.
If you've got kids who are actively learning their numbers, this would be a benefit to that too, I think.
Yeah, it pretty much looks like a large golf ball. It's got just little
with
divots.
A lot of numbers on it and little divots, so it can actually land on one of the numbers. How do you know which one is actually the right one when you
You have to roll it slowly, otherwise it just flies off the table. But it does stop, and just whatever is on the very top.
The very top is the one. Cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. It even comes with a little black pouch to keep it in, so you can keep it safe.
And so I do have the information now. Second place is Chris, and third place is Jamie.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Yeah. So next time we do this...
Was that supposed to be yelling?
That was supposed to be like a crowd, like a, the crowd goes wild.
Okay.
Or it was someone drinking a soda.
Yeah,
that's
I was going to
say. Satisfying.
That's what it sounded a little bit more like. It is satisfying to know that you came in second or third place, though.
Right. And for our top prize, the one I'm personally most excited about is William Shakespeare's Avengers, The Complete Works by Ian Docher. And this is so fun. This author, Ian Docher, also did William Shakespeare's Star Wars. And I listened to all those and completely loved them.
You listened to all those?
All of them.
I did not know that about you.
So good. I loved every minute of it, and so
your face is really beaming right now.
I loved it. It was so fun. It was every time that Yoda speaks, it's in a haiku, and the droids have like this bleepy language, but you can actually go and there's like a code. You can actually figure out what the lines actually say, and it's a lot of fun. So this book, it's beautifully illustrated by Danny Schlitz. And there's pictures, full-color pictures throughout. It's just a beautiful book to have out and around for the Marvel fan.
It is actually kind of a nice-looking book.
Yeah, it's very nice, and it's super fun as you read it. It's all put into, I believe the right literary term is iambic pentameter.
Ooh.
It's a style of writing that Shakespeare used. It's very poetic, and it has all the Avengers films put into the language of Shakespeare.
That's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, so cool. So you'll get all that stuff mailed to you,
KK, if you contact us. If we don't hear from KK or figure out who KK is in the next week or so, then we will choose the second place winner.
On the next episode, we'll let everybody know whether KK got the prize or whether we're shipping this off to Chris. So
time will tell.
Time will tell. All right, let's hop into our feature content. So episode 100... we're like, what do you do? I mean, it's so momentous. How do you pick just one thing to talk about?
So we're not.
We're not.
We're not picking one thing to talk about.
That's right. We're going to talk about all the things.
All the things. Just a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about all the things.
So, upcoming movies, shows, we just thought, let's just give our predictions and a few thoughts. So, first of all, The Batman just came out. So some of you may have seen it. Yeah, we're not going to talk a lot about that. I don't want to give any... well, I can't give any spoilers because I haven't seen it yet.
So we'll talk more about that once at least one of us has seen it. It's a little hard for both of us to see it now in this time in life, but at least one of us will go see it, and it'll probably be Matt.
So perhaps for the next episode, we'll be talking about The Batman.
The Batman.
It's gotten good reviews, actually. I was a little like, another Batman movie, but I don't know. Now I'm actually pretty intrigued. So, the next thing coming up in March is Moon Knight, starring Oscar Isaac. And we watched the trailer last night. Something about an Egyptian god giving powers to some dude with multiple personalities. The question is, did the Egyptian god give him multiple personalities, or is that just kind of part of his deal?
I don't know. We also kind of did a little research on it, the comic book. And so it'll be interesting to know how much of the movie follows the comic. You know, something, just an overview of the upcoming movies. They kind of almost, as we're watching the trailers and stuff, just to refamiliarize ourselves with it, they kind of all had a similar feel, kind of this like dark foreboding feel to like all of them. Is interesting. Even the Batman. So this one, when I was watching it, it felt a little chaotic and kind of like you're wondering what's going on. And I'm thinking, my prediction is that the series is going to kind of drop you in the middle of some sort of weird situation, and you're going to try to figure out what's actually going on. I don't know, that's my prediction. Kind of like maybe as you continue to watch, more and more of the pieces will come together, but in the beginning you might just kind of be like, what is going on? Because when I was watching the trailer, that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah, I could definitely see
that. It could go in so many different directions.
And that would that would jive with just the feel of the character, with the multiple personalities and the weird spiritual vibe and all that.
Well, and what's real, not real?
Yeah.
Is it all real? Are we dealing with time warps in some way? I don't know. The whole time thing seems to be an ongoing theme with the new movies we've been coming out.
It's very in vogue right now.
Can you use that term with
it's very
this?
chic.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if a nerd stuff and chic. I don't know. I usually don't use those terms
They're
together.
kind of antithetical, aren't they?
I don't know.
Okay, so as we were watching the trailer, some other channel had like an overview and a history of Moon Knight, and they talked about in the comics Moon Knight had a moon copter, and I think that's going to be too campy and cheesy to be in the movie, but I really hope it is.
They could make it look pretty cool. They just might not call it moon copter.
No, it has to say moon copter, and then I want to buy one for our kids.
Oh.
So all right, Moon Knight. That's pretty much it. The next one was Morbius, and Morbius also fit that dark, kind of spooky feel.
Almost multiple personality too. Like he seemed to want to be good, but also be a little evil. So the big question on that one is he going to like be a villain, or is he going to be a not villain?
It's a huge question, and they definitely build that up in the trailer. And in the comic books, fans of the comics will know that Morbius was sometimes part of the Sinister Six, and it even in the trailer showed the guy who plays Vulture, who's a big enemy of Spider-Man, talking to Morbius, saying, "Hey, embrace the dark side, embrace your villainous side." So yeah, that's the question. I don't know where he's going to land on that. What do you think?
Well, it wouldn't follow a normal storyline to have like a lot of sympathy for a character, only for them to turn actually really evil. Typically, when you're like the main character, the good ends up prevailing. So I don't know if it follows normal storylines, then he should prevail. But it also could be a little bit of a Hulk situation where it's kind of like sometimes good, but sometimes causes destruction. Or maybe he'll just turn villainous.
He might just say, "Blood is delicious. I love it. I'm just going to be really into it, and that's who I am." Seize the day. Seize the blood.
I hope not, but that wouldn't be a very fun movie to watch, I'll be honest. I like happy endings, though. I'm like, if I'm going to be entertained by something, I don't want to like feel disappointed at the end. I'd really rather have like a happy ending.
You know, what I could really see as a legit ending is Morbius does gain some control over his power. However, like I said, he's painted as a bad guy to everybody else, so he has to go on the run. And maybe in the future, he'll meet up with, say, Spider-Man or whoever, and that hero will think of him as a bad guy. Maybe they'll have to have some kind of battle before Spider-Man figures out, oh, wait a minute, he actually is a good guy. Everyone else just thinks he's a bad guy.
Kind of the misunderstood person.
Misunderstood, yeah.
That happens in real life, too.
It does, and it's sad. So there could be some tragedy, but we shall see. Well, we also watched Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Okay, so the first thing that stood out to me was I'm not like a huge Harry Potter fan, so I don't have like all the good feels from like childhood of watching Harry Potter or whatever. But something that stood out to me was the fact that all of the characters are kind of older. Like Harry Potter had like the younger main characters, and now this one, all the characters are kind of middle age, or there's some that are a little younger, like maybe late teens, early 20s or something. But I find that ironic because the first fans, at least of
Harry Potter?
Of Harry Potter, thank you, are getting a little older now.
You know what? We all go the way of our fathers and mothers, so you just have to embrace your age. And but it's true. It's true. This movie looked pretty cool. So we have not seen the first two Fantastic Beasts movies. So it's difficult to give a solid prediction.
We were wondering what his secrets are, though.
Maybe his secrets are just simple things like, I'm the one who put the milk back with just a little bit left in the carton, or didn't take out the trash. Maybe they're domestic secrets.
I don't think so. I think it has to be probably something pretty amazing for them to make a movie out of it.
Probably. You're probably right.
I'm just wondering what kind of Fantastic Beast is going to be in it.
You know, the preview did have quite a few like mythical-looking monsters in it. I noticed that as I watched it a couple times. Just throughout, there's little snippets of like
snippets of it.
Pretty crazy monsters. So
it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting.
Or maybe it won't be interesting, depending on if you like Harry Potter stuff or not. Maybe that's not interesting at all. But Doctor Strange will be interesting.
Definitely interesting. So Doctor Strange, again, continues that theme of time and obviously the multiverse. I am really curious if Loki will show up in this movie.
It seems kind of set up for it because he came before like the time people. And now Doctor Strange is coming before some sort of courtish thing that seems similar to that.
Right. And fans of the comics recognized the Illuminati, which was a group of super smart characters who worked with the multiverse. So, like, I think Tony Stark was on that original team, and the guy from Fantastic Four, and the guy from X-Men, Charles Xavier, and a few other people. I don't know who's going to do it or who's going to be on the team in the movies, but they did tease that in the trailer.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it would definitely be fitting for Loki to show up. I'm also curious if the villain from Loki, Kang, will show up, or if that's just going to be strictly reserved for the Loki show.
Well, obviously Wanda's going to show up because that's in the previews.
Here's my prediction. I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Oh, boy.
I think Loki shows up in the post-credit scene.
I could see that. I could see that happening.
Because if he shows up in the middle of the movie, it will kind of be a show stealer, I feel like.
I kind of think that we're also going to see a bad Doctor Strange.
Yes, yeah.
I think that like one of the other universes or whatever, Doctor Strange will actually be a bad guy, and that will complicate things.
And it will make things fun to watch. Here's another prediction. I think that Doctor Strange and Wanda will have a falling out. And they kind of teased, I don't know if it was a variant version of Wanda fighting Doctor Strange or something in the trailer, but I think the good Wanda and Doctor Strange, like that we know from the Marvel movies, they're going to have some kind of falling out and they're going to come back together. Kind of chick flick style.
I could see that happening.
They fall out.
They're friends again. Or at least acquaintances working towards a common goal.
Maybe they'll just end up as like frenemies. Like, okay, we work together, we're cool, but
we don't really like each other.
Oh, I had one more thought too. Could it be? I'd be a little surprised if they do this. Or put it this way. I hope they don't do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did do it. Killed Wong.
I hope not.
I mean, Wong is a super lovable character, but
maybe they'll actually give him a bigger role in it.
Well, that could be.
That would be fun, too.
Actually, they did tease that Wong kind of had a bigger role because he was in that post-credit scene of Shang-Chi.
Right.
Kind of leading that meeting, so
then I'm wondering if he's actually going to take more of like a leader role.
Well, how about Thor 4? Thor 4. What about Thor 4?
Thor 4. That's a lot of Thors.
Thor Love and Thunder.
Well, I mean, Jane Foster's back, so that's kind of fun. Maybe a bit of a love story continuation there. That could be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. She's also, they're hinting at like some big power that she's going to have. Will that drive her away from Thor, though? Or
will it put her kind of in the same league as him and maybe bring them together?
Yeah. Maybe it'll make her kind of like, so she doesn't die.
So I noticed that Chris Hemsworth is really bulked up for this particular Thor movie.
Well, that for sure means that he's definitely more powerful now then, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's the mighty, mighty Thor.
Do you think Jane Foster's going to bulk up too then?
I think she has. They've released some like set photos, and there was a comment like, everybody is just jacked for this movie, even Jane Foster. And
wow.
They had a picture of her, and you could kind of see like she's
bulked up some for it. So they're just going to be super like muscular, powerful.
Yeah.
Ah.
I read somewhere that Chris Hemsworth is working on a Hulk Hogan movie. And so that could be part of the reason why he's bulked up also, is he's trying to get to that place where he can portray Hulk Hogan.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, that was a while ago I read that, but that would actually be pretty cool.
Well, it's hard to have too many predictions for like Thor or actually any of the other ones coming up because we just don't know much, so it's really difficult to make any predictions. I think in Thor 4, we can reasonably expect some sort of relationship dynamic between Jane Foster and Thor. Most likely there's going to be, maybe even some conflict and some romance there.
And Thor 4 would be a great vehicle to connect the cosmic happenings of the Marvel Universe back to Earth and start building up towards the next Avengers movie.
Yeah.
That would be
Could
cool.
be a good bridge movie for that.
Yeah. So, okay, what do you think? Should we just blast off predictions off the cuff, no rehearsal for these next ones?
Sure.
So, like Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power releasing in September. Any thoughts for that one? Any predictions?
Okay, let me think. I think that we are going to see lots of running tall people.
With lots of blonde hair.
With lots of flowing hair. I don't think it necessarily needs to be blonde, but it has to be flowing.
Correct. I would agree.
I think that's what we're going to see.
I just listened to, I was so excited to find this on our audiobook service. I just listened to the book called The Fall of Gondolin, which is a tale of the first age of Middle-earth, the elves versus Morgoth, the old Dark Lord. And it was so good. And in that story, Legolas came in. And the Amazon series is taking place in the second age of Middle-earth.
So maybe we'll see Legolas.
It's possible. I hope they recast Legolas because, let's face it, Orlando Bloom's like, well, he's
getting older.
He could be a Harry Potter fan. So who knows? I think it's going to be good. I'll just say that.
And I'm going to say they're not going to mess with time.
Correct.
In Lord of the Rings.
And I'm also going to say to you super fans who know every detail, you're going to need to chill out. You're going to need to just take the Amazon show for what it is, enjoy it, because otherwise you're going to drive yourself crazy because it will be different.
I bet it will be. Okay, The Flash. We actually watched the TV show, at least some of the seasons, a long time ago, but it's been a long time. So I predict some Flash.
I predict
like as in like fast movement, that kind of Flash.
Yes. My hope for this movie would be that they don't redo the Flash's origin story because fans should know his origin story, or at least they should go through it like really quick instead of making this like a brand new reintroducing the Flash, going through the whole origin story. I hope they just kind of breeze through the origin story and get right into something new. Boom.
Is that a prediction or is that a hope?
That's a hope.
That's a hope, yeah. Because I could see them kind of resetting the stage too.
Yeah.
You said it's going to be a different actor?
Well, it's the actor that they used in Justice League, I believe. So
okay. So not
totally
really a
new.
different actor, but different same actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
And that's a movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. They said they're not recasting Chadwick Boseman.
Interesting. They're going to have like a new person arise then?
I don't know. Either they're going to have a totally new person take the mantle of the Black Panther and become the Black Panther, or they're going to CGI his face like they did for...
You know, I don't like the CGI face
I agree.
things. I just don't like them. I really hope they just kind of like bring up a new character.
Yes.
Because, I don't know, CGI faces just kind of weird me out.
I completely agree. So that's our hope, is that they don't CGI Chadwick.
So maybe these are less predictions and more hopes.
I predict... I'm just going to say it because it's fun to predict. I predict that they will not try to CGI his face because I think they've got lots of plans for the Black Panther character, and that would just be really tedious.
It'd be tedious and a little unnerving to have like all of the Black Panther things be CGI face.
Especially when the character has a tradition of other people being the Black Panther. I mean, he became the Black Panther because his father died.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you don't need to
have one person.
Yeah.
It's almost like a symbol character.
All right. So let's move on to Aquaman 2. Aquaman was one of the least favorite movies I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't think it was that bad, but it definitely wasn't my favorite.
You know what? I think Aquaman bugged me was because it had a lot of potential. I think the first Aquaman should have been made into 3 separate movies.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of like jumped. The character development wasn't there a whole lot. I'm a big fan of character development. Maybe they're going to backtrack a little bit on this Aquaman 2 and do more character development then.
Yeah.
I hope the costumes are a little better.
Yeah.
I think that it was a little kiddish to me in the way it looked, especially compared to some of the Marvel movies.
Yes.
So I hope that they kind of up the game a little bit with the wardrobe and the feel of it.
I agree. Aquaman was like the worst character when I was a kid. I just thought he was so lame. And they made a pretty cool, gritty looking Aquaman. But then the movie just disappointed. Maybe I just had high hopes in my childlike heart that it would be great and it disappointed me.
Well, maybe Aquaman 2 will deliver.
Yeah, maybe.
And we're going to have to wait till December to find out.
We shall see. We shall see. And finally, The Mandalorian Season 3 coming out in December.
It's hard to believe there's Season 3 of The Mandalorian.
I know.
No, it just feels like Season 2 to me.
I know. And also the Kenobi show's coming out. I don't think we even touched on that. That's coming out even sooner.
That would be kind of a fun one to watch. I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So any thoughts for the future of Star Wars and Kenobi and The Mandalorian?
You know, The Mandalorian, I predict that they're going to try to kind of mesh together Boba Fett and The Mandalorian shows to be kind of one show. And it seems to make the most sense to make it all into The Mandalorian. I don't know, that one seemed a little bit more popular to me. And like they maybe put a little more effort into it in general, but maybe a higher budget.
I predict that they will try to salvage the new trilogy by doing some things in The Mandalorian to make the new trilogy a little more believable. So, like, for example, Palpatine didn't die and he has this clone body, and it would just seem like so out of left field. But if The Mandalorian can sort of build up like, oh, these experiments were happening, and they even started hinting at that in the second season, like, oh, this was happening behind the scenes for all these years, and that's why it was to this point, and it was this like underground thing. It might make people like and appreciate the series a little more.
And let's face it, Grogu is a really cool character.
Will Boba Fett be in The Mandalorian Season 3, or are they just going to say, okay, now he's on Tatooine doing his thing, The Mandalorian's like going to go off and now do a separate thing?
I think they kind of set it up to say that he is going to be a part of whatever The Mandalorian does next, especially since the ending scene was kind of like, we're not set up for this or designed for this or whatever, in regards to just like ruling Tatooine.
So maybe the two of them will kind of be like buddies that will go on adventures, or maybe Boba Fett will be like a reoccurring character, but not a regular character.
Or maybe they'll bring together Boba Fett, Fennec, Mandalorian, and Grogu and make them kind of like their own.
Be like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Their own like Guardians of the Galaxy type thing.
Well, I'd support that. That'd be kind of fun to watch.
They need a bigger ship then.
Yeah. It'd be like a 4-way tandem bike. Well, folks, we are going to wrap it up here. We have one more announcement, though, that we're very excited about. Katie, do you want to talk about that at all?
So we are going to be, I don't even know how to like explain the excitement of this.
Oh, man, it's just like bubbling on the inside.
I want to pull a Matt and actually go back and explain how the whole thing happened, but I'm not going to do that. So we're actually Matt's going to be at a comic conference coming up.
April 9th. At the Milwaukee Comic Con. The funny thing about the Milwaukee Comic Con is it's not actually in the city of Milwaukee. It happens at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds in West Allis. I'm not a Wisconsinite, so West Allis, Allis. Just say it fast. West Allis.
And that's pretty actually close to where we are. And if you're not too far away, it'd be really fun for you to come and say hi to him. It's April 9th, and he's just going to set up shop there, get to know some people, maybe do some trivia games. We haven't decided exactly. We're still taking this one step at a time. This is kind of a precursor because our big goal and what we're working on is trying to get signed up for the Twin Cities Comic Con, which is going to be in November. That's kind of our big goal for this year, is to get there.
Yeah. So, like Katie said, if you want to come up to the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds on April 9th, hang out at the Milwaukee Comic Con. I'll be there, hang out all day, just meeting people, and it's going to be a good time. And with that, we are signing off.